Are we going?
There we go. It looks like we are broadcasting live. Hi, everyone. My name's Kirk. I am the afternoon jock here at 94.5 Bay FM, and I'm joined by my guest, Dr. Michael Furlong. He is the clinical director of Furlong Vision Correction. How you doing, Dr. Furlong?
I'm doing fabulously.
You handling the pandemic as best you can?
Oh yeah, we've been up and running for 2 months, over 2 months now since we came back from being out for 7 weeks, and we're getting busier and busier.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. So let's talk a little bit about your practice and what you provide at Furlong Vision Correction.
Yeah, great. So I've owned and operated my own practice for 22 years. I'm an ophthalmologist, so I perform common vision correction procedures such as Lasik and PRK. I also perform cataract surgery with advanced technology lens implants to help patients really achieve their goals, which more and more these days it's to be independent of glasses or contact lenses. And the technology has gotten so good and so accurate, and the surgeries are so safe that patients are really desiring these types of outcomes.
Yeah, what is the difference between LASIK and PRK?
So in both of the surgeries, we use a laser to reshape the cornea, the front part of the eye. And when somebody needs to wear glasses or contacts, their cornea doesn't have the appropriate curvature. It's usually either too steep or too flat. And we use these sophisticated, accurate lasers to resurface the cornea, changing the curvature and getting out of their glasses or contact lenses.
Now, can you walk us through the process step by step? Like when you're going in to get LASIK, what is the first step?
Well, the first step is to make sure you're a candidate, because not everybody who wears glasses or contacts can safely have these surgeries done. So the first step is to come in for an evaluation. We do a full examination, make sure you are a candidate, and then talk to you about your options. Most patients are candidates for advanced all laser LASIK, which we love that technique because patients get really quick recovery. Their next day they're driving back to work in a day or two. Some patients don't qualify for LASIK. Advanced PRK is more appropriate for those patients. Sometimes lens implants can be a better alternative as well, but the goal is to give them their best vision possible without the need for glasses or contact lenses.
So how long does the whole procedure take?
So the actual surgeries, for the most part, are about 5 minutes per procedure or per eye. So when we do a bilateral, both eyes, same LASIK procedure, patients basically are in the surgery room for 8 to 10 minutes. It's a painless procedure. They're awake. We just use drops to numb the eye so they don't feel anything. There's no needles. There's no injections. Every visit to our office in this post-COVID world involves screening to make sure patients have their temperature checked. They have a questionnaire they need to answer. Everybody has a face covering, including me, my staff, and the patient. And we're really trying to minimize the number of patients in our office. And since we came back in early May, we're over 200 patients have already had surgery.
Wow, 200 patients. Man, you guys have been busy.
Well, it turns out a lot of people find this shelter at home time a perfect time to get this done because they've got more time on their hands than they had in a long time. Mm-hmm. And we have patients that are coming in saying, can you do it this week?
Yeah, that makes total sense. So I happen to be a patient of Dr. Furlong's. I went through the whole process, got LASIK done. The results are really amazing. Like I had, I wouldn't say horrible vision, but I was bad. I was wearing contacts and glasses. I've been wearing contacts and glasses since 13, 14, somewhere around there. And then after I had the procedure done, which, like you said, is actually really, really quick. I think I was only in the operating room for 10 minutes, maybe. I mean, it went real fast. And then the procedure was over. By the next day, I could open my eyes and see pretty clearly. And ultimately, the amazing thing was when I actually did the eye vision test afterwards, I tested better than 20/20 vision.
Yeah, and that's pretty common. It turns out almost 70% of our patients will get better than 20/20 vision. Our goal is to get you the best potential vision you can have. And with today's technology, we're, like I said, a good 2/3 of our patients test better than 20/20.
That's amazing. So we have two guests with you, two patients that you've worked on, and these two guests are from the TV show Survivor. All right, we have Andrew Savage and Jeremy Collins from Survivor. In fact, Jeremy, you actually won Survivor. Oh, unmute yourself, Jeremy. There we go.
Yes, I played 3 times, but I only won 1 time.
Let me ask you both, Andrew and Jeremy, how did you actually get on the show? You know, like what was the process of trying to get on?
I'll jump in. So there's a process where you simply do a 3-minute video, which is very arrogant. And you say why you're the greatest thing since sliced bread and why you deserve to be on the show. You send it in. They get probably 80,000 of those audition tapes, and all of the producers review them. And if you stand out of the 80,000, they take it down to 500, and then they whittle it down to the top 50, and they fly you out to Santa Monica, the DoubleTree Hotel, and you go through 2 weeks of casting. And they take the 50 after all these crazy tests and meetings with Mark Burnett, Jeff Probst, and the other executive producers. They take the 50, they take it down to 16 or 18 that actually makes the show. And there are a lot of folks, I disagree with this, a lot of folks have been on the show that say the actual process to get on the show is more difficult than the show. And I disagree with that, but it is this unbelievable process to get on the show.
I disagree with that too. It's a lot harder on the show, but it took me a long time to get on. Like Savage said, you send in your video, and I was sending videos when it was VHS tapes, you know?
Me too.
Send it in, and it took me 10 years to get on. So it's a tough job to get on, you know? And that's just half the battle. Then you got to go play.
That's right.
So they're just really looking for personalities, right?
Yeah, so what they're looking for is also group dynamics. So they want 18 or 20 folks on the show that are going to clash and create drama, but also what they're looking for, in my opinion, is someone that when you're sleep deprived and missing home and starving and dehydrated, you don't curl up in a fetal position and whimper. You stand up and you scream at the top of your lungs, "I got this," right? So they're looking for A-type personalities that are interesting, that can tell a story, that are really interesting to watch and interesting to watch the group dynamics and let the fireworks go.
Yeah, and they want people from all parts of the United States and even now Canada. They try to get people from the West, the East, the Northeast, the South, Midwest. They're looking for different personalities from all over the country.
That's right.
Yeah, well, I mean, variety makes it entertaining. I mean, if we were all the same, it'd be quite boring.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
So, what was the moment on the show where you realized this is real? Like, this is legit. I'm competing in this, and I'm trying to win. Did you have a moment where you just kind of went, "All right, this is new. I'm doing this now"?
So,
go ahead, Jim.
All right. The first time I played with my wife, and we had day 0, which is actually they take you from it's called Ponderosa, where we're all getting ready to play the game. You do the safety checks and all that stuff, and as soon as you're done with that, they blindfolded us. They put us in a truck, and they drove us. They could have drove us 10 miles, or they could have drove us around the corner. Like, you don't know. And they just dropped us off in the woods on the side of a beach, and it was just me and my wife, and we had to make fire, and that was our night for the night. And I said, "Oh, we're playing this now. It's time to go." And so that's when I said, "I can't believe it. I'm actually playing this game right now."
What was your moment, Savage?
Yeah, so for me, I was on season 7, which was early days Survivor. 2004, I think, was my first season. And at that point, Survivor was very new, wildly popular, but it was also, the question mark is, how real is Survivor? Are they giving, I even personally, I thought they were giving you Snickers bars, bottled water. We're in the jungle pulling this cannon in this really horrible challenge, and we're starving and dehydrated because it's 110 degrees in the jungle. I look around and I see Probst, the host, and I'm like, oh my goodness. So this is, first of all, extremely real. They're not giving you anything. You got to boil water to kill all the maggots and stuff and find your own food, or else you're getting airlifted out. And so there's this epiphany in the middle of the jungle, 110 degrees. This is as real as it gets. And I immediately had enormous respect for the show.
Was what did you feel was like the most challenging part of the show?
Go ahead, Jeremy.
For me, like being out there, not eating and you know, all that, you can put up with that. My hardest part is being away from my family. Like I spend like I'm a firefighter, so I work. My shifts are kind of crazy, so I spend most of my days home, and I spend them with my family and my kids, and I'm always running around with them and watching them play sports and all these other things. So like when I'm gone, like it drives me crazy not knowing what's going on with them. And like to me, that there's nothing like that. Like I just can't be away from them for that long and not knowing how they're doing and what they're competed in and how their school's going and you know all that stuff. I just can't. I fall apart playing the game. That's when I have to get my mind right and actually say like, okay, I'm playing for them. I have to get my mind right, even though I'm missing them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And you, Andrew?
Yeah, so I 100% agree with Jeremy. It's about, so both Jeremy and I, folks listening to this, we're extremely close friends. We consider our families, and he's a big family man. I'm a big family man. Everything to us, the most important thing in the world is family and family time. So that's the hardest thing, is being away. You're sequestered we were in Cambodia for 50 days with no contact with the outside world, no contact whatsoever. And that was absolutely ripped our hearts out, and nothing can compare. You know, I don't care about the bugs, the viper, snakes, all that stuff. Doesn't matter. Take my family away from me, and I turn into a whimpering little child.
Yes, yeah.
Did you say vipers?
Oh, so in Cambodia, one of the most venomous snakes in the world is the green viper snake. And Jeremy and I saw countless viper snakes. And
What?
oh, I'm telling you, dude, Cambodia was the nastiest. No offense to Cambodians, right? But where we were in the jungle, the nastiest conditions in the history of Survivor.
So you guys have both done a couple seasons of Survivor. Where were your seasons? Cambodia.
So I did Pearl Islands, season 7, which is a 100-island chain off the coast of Panama, which is pretty beautiful. And the second one, Jeremy and I were together in Cambodia for, they call it Survivor Cambodia Second Chance. And it was, you know, Jeremy and I were joined at the hip. And if you haven't seen the series, it is incredible. Not because I was on it or Jeremy won the whole dang thing, but it's because there's 4 or 5 different things that happened in that season that have never happened before in Survivor. Absolutely epic.
Wow.
So my seasons was the first season was in 29 Nicaragua. Not too bad. The weather was fine. I was with my wife, so you know I wasn't dying for you know love from my family as much as the other seasons. But then I went to Cambodia, like Savage said, and then my last one was season 40, Winners at War, and that was in Fiji. And Fiji's colder than you think. Like it's windy over Fiji, but it rained for a couple days, but it wasn't bad. Cambodia is the worst. Let
me just add to that. Cambodia, Jeremy, right? Cambodia, the average temperature where we were was about 110 degrees, and that's in the shade. In challenges, without shelter, the sun on you is about 115 degrees, and you can't get that sense when you're watching it. But and you can't get away from that heat. It's everywhere, and it absolutely beat us down. And then you got the viper snakes, and they also had these nasty spiders that could leap about 6 feet in the air, and they're poisonous.
Oh man!
So
I mean that really sounds like Survivor now.
Here's a story. I almost lost. So my right toe was bitten by one of those spiders, got infected, and I go to the ER doc, and he says, I've got good news, bad news, and bad news. And I'm like, all right, well, give me the bad news. He said, bad news is your toe is terribly infected. Okay, what's the other bad news? He said, well, the infection is coming up my leg, and that they're either going to pull me out of the game because I could lose my leg. And I'm like, okay, so what's the good news? He said, the good news is here's horse tablet antibiotics. Take them, and within 3 days, the infection will be gone. You won't lose your leg, and we won't have to airlift you out. And he said, sorry, it was three bad news, one good news. The third bad news is that you have to take these, and there was like a fistful of them, with a full belly, or else it's going to rip through your system, and you're not going to be able to stand, and you don't get any food because we were starving to death. And this was on day 18. So I took all the horse tablets, stumbled around, saved my leg. But if you watch it closely in those challenges, I had no idea where I was, what I was doing.
Yeah, I thought that was due to your vision.
Yeah. I still have a scar on my toe from the fangs of that spider.
Wow. So both of you are patients of Dr. Furlong. Who was the first patient?
That would be me.
Now how did you get in contact with Dr. Furlong? How did this all start?
So my optometrist, Dr. McGrath, for years and years, I would ask him periodically about my eyes and anything can be done, because I was legally blind. My vision, Kirk, you said yours wasn't too bad. Mine was horrible, and I had Coke bottles on glasses. So eventually, Dr. McGrath said, you have to talk to Dr. Furlong. He's a friend of mine. He's a top ophthalmologist in the country. He has this refractive lens exchange process, and just go see if you're a candidate. So I reached out to Dr. Furlong, who was wonderful. I went and got tested. Let me just also say that I've seen, before Dr. Furlong, about 5 or 6 different ophthalmologists. My cornea is unbelievable, dangerously thin. I was not a LASIK candidate. I could easily go blind because it was so thin. And Dr. Furlong did a full battery of tests and determined that I was a great candidate for refractive lens exchange, which is essentially taking my natural lens out of my eyes and replacing it, implanting it with an artificial lens. And I can get into the details if you want, but I came out of that because of the genius of Dr. Furlong having better than 2015 vision, and I've never looked back. And Dr. Furlong literally gave me the gift of sight, which from the age 2nd grade, I've had Coke bottle glasses, and it was the most eye-opening, no pun intended, and beautiful experience of my life.
Yeah, Dr. Furlong, can you talk about his procedure a little bit?
Yeah. So when I saw Savage, what he said is very, very accurate. The one other thing he left off is that he had actually gone in, I think when you were in Chicago, to be evaluated, and they said you couldn't do LASIK surgery for the same reason. Your corneas were thin. And it's interesting because the most common procedure I do is LASIK, but refractive lens exchange is appropriate for a subset of patients who just really can't safely do LASIK. And, we've been doing cataract surgery and with modern techniques for, as ophthalmologists since the 60s and 70s, but with the advent of these newest technology lens implants, patients really can be dialed into levels of vision much better than 20/20. And for, Andrew being able to give him that gift was just a cool experience all the way around, because when patients are told they can't have LASIK, and they really want it, they're really kind of disappointed and they're bummed out. And a lot of the people that do LASIK don't do any other kinds of eye surgeries. And I was trained to do more than just LASIK. And so being able to offer him something that was safe and predictable was great, because I knew that he would achieve his goals, which, he shared with me some of the challenges when he was on Survivor both times, where he didn't do well in some of the physical challenges because of his contact lenses. And this has a direct, solution for that.
What were some of the challenges that you struggled with?
Well, so Pearl Islands, I made the merge. For fans of the show, made the merge. There was an individual one from tribal challenges to individual challenges. Had to jump in the water and pull yourself on this rope and do these crazy things. And I lost my contacts. I opened my eyes because I couldn't find the rope. I lost that challenge. And I'm a very, very good swimmer. Had I seen Dr. Furlong before and had my 2015 vision, I arguably could have won that challenge. And I was voted out that night, right? So my adventure of a lifetime, my dream ended, largely in my opinion, because my contact lenses and my lack of ability to see underwater. And there's just all these stories. I would love to ask Jeremy how it was really interesting. Jeremy and I both had horrible vision, and we were on the same tribe in Cambodia, and we had to every morning go put our contacts in, and you don't have any soap, you have just sand and junk and dirt everywhere, and you use the lotion to try to clean your hands, and then it gets on your contacts, and I had an eye infection, which was horrible. And then Jeremy does Winners at War, and he's brilliant to watch him compete like he did. And just the difference, Winners at War versus Cambodia, having darn good vision would be interesting to hear about.
Oh, it's a game changer. Like, so I've had glasses and contacts since I've had glasses forever. I remember my 8th grade graduation, I got contacts, and I thought my life has changed forever, you know? And my vision is so bad, I could see the E because I know it's an E. If you turn that thing around, I'm saying it's an E. Like, I couldn't see anything. I could see this much in front of my face, and that's it. My vision was horrible. And we would be in Cambodia, and like Savage said, like, you try to get your hands clean with no soap and water and stuff, it's impossible. And the guts under your nails, and you could feel the sand and dirt in your eyes after you put your contacts in. And there's a number of times on the show, you could see my eyes are all red, and I look at it and I say, I remember that day because I had guck in my eyes, and I'm trying to tear them up so I can get all the guck out, and it's horrible. Like, it is a total game changer. And then Savage told me about Dr. Furlong, and my mother always said, you know, you only have 2 eyes. Don't let anyone mess with your eyes. So I was not going to do anything. I was happy with my contacts. I will wear my contacts forever. I don't care. No one's going in my eyes. And Savage said, you got to see Dr. Furlong. You got to see him. He's the best. He'll take care of you. And I said, Sav, I'm only going to see Dr. Furlong because I trust you and I know you have my back. So I went in, and it literally took 10 minutes. But I got PRK. It's a little different, and Dr. Furlong could speak on that. But the recovery time is probably 4 or 5 days, and over the next few weeks, your vision gets better and better and better. And going in that day, I could see, you know, after it's done, you could see and everything. And now my vision got so good that I'm better than 2020 now. It's ridiculous. And going into Winners at War, I was ready. You know what I mean? I could see you are not going to be able to beat me now. You know?
Yeah.
Swimming, you know, being able to open your eyes underwater and just everything. Being able to see with your contacts aren't gucky and dried up, and I could see that idol in the tree. You know what I mean? Like, it's a game changer. You know, I wish I played a little bit better and I could have gave you a contestant, but you know.
Dude, you were amazing.
It was not because of my eyes.
You were amazing.
Yeah, you did great.
I just want to, can I add to that? Jeremy and I are very similar in the sense that I was not going to let anyone touch my eyes. And when I met Dr. One thing I want folks listening to this that are thinking about an eye procedure to understand is that, and this is from the bottom of my heart, Dr. Furlong is a absolutely brilliant surgeon, ophthalmologist. The other thing I want to point out is that, and this is very rare in my experience, that a top surgeon, top doctor has this incredible bedside manner. Okay, so he's got a big heart. He legitimately cares about every single patient, and he's passionate about the work that he does, and all he wants is for everyone to have a perfect experience. And Jeremy and I had perfect experiences when our vision, that we were both legally blind, and Dr. Furlong, because of his brilliance, gave us the gift of vision. And Jeremy's absolutely right. I said, Jeremy, you have to come to San Jose, meet Dr. Furlong. And he's like, I'm not doing, no one's touching my eyes. I'm like, trust me, brother. You have to come here and just meet Dr. Furlong. He is that incredible.
Well, and you flew across the country. You live on the East Coast, and we're out here in California. And I'm very impressed that you made that trip.
I'm telling you, no one was touching my eyes, dog. Yeah. I really mean that. It's because Savage gave you the thumbs up, so I was like, all right, I'm in. Let's do it. You know?
Yeah. You know what, Savage, you're 100% right, because when I went into it, I was kind of like, oh, we'll see what happens. And then from like the person working the front desk to Dr. Furlong himself, everyone was so social and made you feel comfortable that you were like, all right, I've got this. And then Dr. Furlong walks you through the process step by step, and you go, all right, he clearly knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he made me feel comfortable about it. So, you know, I just remember going into it. One of my friends asked me, are you a little nervous? I'm like, no, I'm not really nervous. Like I trust the man who's going to be doing this for me.
Yeah, Dr. Furlong and the staff, all incredibly competent, wonderful people. They take away your anxiety. I will say I had some anxiety going into it because refractive lens exchange is kind of a big deal. And it was so simple. And Jeremy, to be completely honest, had some insecure moments going into it. And when he arrived in San Jose, he's like, Sam, I don't know if I'm going to do this. I'm like, dude, you're going to do it. Trust me. And because look, he's right. There are eyes. It's our vision. Like, why mess with that? Contacts aren't that bad unless you're on Survivor. Anyway, one of the greatest things I and Jeremy have done for ourselves is to meet Dr. Furlong.
Yeah. Well,
Contacts aren't bad until you get, perfect vision. And
Yeah, exactly.
Put anything in,
Yeah.
It's a
You think they're not bad.
To wake up and just open your eyes and be able to see is just mind blowing to me, because every day I would wake up and I can't see anything. I'm looking for my glasses and where I left them when I fell asleep at night.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? So waking up and just being able to look and see across and see the alarm clock and see the TV, it's just, it blows your mind, See, people that have good eyesight, that were born with good eyesight, they got it all nice. They don't know what we live through. You know what I mean?
Well,
That's
and
exactly.
I don't know if you guys knew this or maybe you did and forgot, but I had LASIK on my eyes 22 years ago. It was in 98. It was pre-Survivor, 1998. I trained with one of the pioneers in this technology up in Calgary, Canada, and he did my LASIK in 98. And so I know what your guys' vision was because I did your surgery. I have all your numbers, and mine was not far off. So the description you guys say where you could see about, 1.5 feet in front of your face, and that's about it. That's very true. And one other quick thing I wanted to show you. Do you see that picture behind me there?
Yes.
It's not Fiji. It's not Cambodia. It's not Pearl Islands. But that would be a good place for the next episode, don't you think?
Yes. Where is it?
Where I grew up in Kailua, Hawaii.
Wow.
Oh, you grew up in Kailua?
I grew up in Kailua. That's Kailua Beach right there.
I lived in Honolulu for 3 years. My favorite beach is Lanikai, the
Oh,
Mokulua.
That's where
I know.
that's where we grow. Yeah, I've actually spent one night on the left Mokulua Island with two of my buddies from high school. We sailed a Hobie Cat out there.
Yeah.
The night on the beach.
My buddies and I used to swim out to the left Mokulua, hike around, and then dive off the cliff, do cliff diving into Sharks Cove.
Yeah.
And we go about 60 feet up. Amazing. It gives me goosebumps. That's one of my favorite places in the world. I can't believe I didn't know you're from Kailua. That's amazing.
I grew up there. My family moved to Hawaii when I was 5, and I graduated from Kailua High School. I'm a Kailua High School graduate.
quite frankly, that place looks too beautiful, too exotic for Survivor. You need more. You need more vipers. You need more spiders.
Yeah, there's no snakes in the state of Hawaii. They tried them so.
It's amazing. Well, I would like to thank all of you for showing up for this. Andrew, your stories were amazing. Jeremy, congratulations on winning. And of course, Dr. Furlong for giving all of us the gift of sight, because it really is an amazing experience. So a few things. You have a website, Dr. Furlong. Your website is?
So my website is just furlongvision.com. So my last name, Furlong, the word vision, all one long word.com. That's where tons of information, how to even schedule a free evaluation to come in and see if you're a candidate. Read up all on what we're doing in this new world with our viral screening processes and making sure everybody's safe. We've been talking a lot about Survivor just because we've got two former contestants on it, but you guys have real lives too. So Jeremy, firefighter, thank you for your service. You guys you continue to impress me. And Savage, you're a successful attorney here in Silicon Valley, and you got your own life that you benefit from vision correction, not just in the game of Survivor, but every day. So I just want to thank you guys for trusting me to your eyes.
Thank you, Dr. Furlong. Jeremy, always love seeing you, brother.
Yeah,
For
you
sure.
too, brother.
This is fun. Thanks for getting us together, Dr. Furlong.
Well, thank you for making yourselves available. I really, really appreciate it.
Very
Well,
fun.
thank you guys for showing up, and I think that's about it. Congratulations, Dr. Furlong, on having an excellent practice, and thanks for making our vision amazing.
Yes.
You're very welcome. Thanks, guys. Good to see you.
See ya.
Take care.